What's the even subject again?
We are talking about how we got started. Honestly, we should have brought a piece of paper and filming it.
There's
Kind
a
of get
fly.
it. Are you listening?
We have the chairs empty and we walk to them.
3, 2, 1. This is our first YouTube video. YouTube video number 1. We're on Instagram and all the other platforms, but Instagram's our main one. This video is going to be about
Our rental house that we're in right now, it's in Baltimore. We used to live in this house, and we're going to tell you the story about when we got married, how we moved into this house and already lived in this before we were married, and how we turned it into a home and a home for other people.
Here we go.
Hey, Dee, come on in.
There's someone else. Hi. So I'm going to talk about why I bought this house, when I bought it, how I did it. So I bought it before me and Josiah were married, which was,
Oh, DA.
I bought it a year after I graduated college. So I moved to the city and lived here for a year, and I was like, I like the city, I want to buy. So then I bought this in 2018 for $165. It was like all structurally fine, but it was just very crusty. Like it didn't look like any of this. I gutted this entire kitchen. Basically, we touched every floor, wall, everything of this house when it was done, but it was mostly cosmetic. Like there was no like structural stuff or like sewage problems or things like that. So I lived here for a year, and my first project was the bathroom. It was a total poop show, and I had no toilet for a month and all of that. That's for another day. I pooped in a bucket for a month. It was the whole thing. Anyways, and then me and Josiah got married, and he moved in here into a house that actually had no kitchen. The camera was falling, so we have to retake this part. As I was saying, Josiah and I got married in 2019 in September. He moved into a house that did have a bathroom but no kitchen, and then he can tell you his side and how he felt about all
I
this.
need to think about some talking points.
Action.
So it's 2019, we just got married. I remember going into this, I really couldn't control Anna buying the house. And I remember we were almost engaged when she was getting ready to buy it. But over that time, I kind of came to grips with all the plans of renovations, and the first big thing we did was we tackled the kitchen, then the living room a little bit, the front entryway, and then in the year 2020, we really started making our way upstairs towards the bedrooms. I was teaching up there for COVID. I was a phys ed teacher, I am still, and we did both of those bedrooms, so they made a pretty big transformation.
But how did you feel about it all?
It was definitely overwhelming because I never was in like a demo zone like that. Like the kitchen was not usable for like 6 months. I think we just had solid, like just cabinets kind of scattered around and appliances, and we really didn't have much of a functioning space.
Did you enjoy doing the work?
It was much harder for me to do the work, and I really got mad when I didn't feel like doing the work, which was a lot. I wasn't thinking that I was going to be doing work every waking second of my life.
When did you come around to it?
Oh yes, the appraisal. When we got the house appraised, I was like, dang, there's some money in this. And I think I saw the light then. We're taking a little break because when we opened this door, a mosquito flew in, and
I said, don't smash it on the wall.
then I smashed it.
Ooh, wow, look at that. Wow. 2. My iPhone ran out of storage and it stopped filming us 20 seconds in.
From the top.
So we'll be telling this again. Act natural.
So when we got married, we joined finances, which is kind of a hard thing to do, I feel like, for most couples. But for us, it was easy in some ways and hard. Kind of coming into marriage, I had like almost $40,000 of debt. How much did you have?
0.
She had 0. So this was like definitely something that we were talking about when we were engaged. Anna knew about all of it, but the actual logistics of paying it, especially when we're like putting our money together and we see these big payments going out, was definitely a little bit of a struggle.
So we follow the Dave Ramsey principles to pay it all off, and we paid it off October of 2020, which we were very proud of. Like, we definitely hunkered down. Like, the first year of our marriage, like, sucked, honestly, for many reasons. One of them being, like, we didn't want to spend any money because we were trying to pay off the debt. We were trying to finish this house, and we didn't go on dates. We didn't travel. So there were, like, big sacrifices made, but I feel like it put us in a better position for, like, being where we're at now. Not that we're, like, anywhere, but it allows us to be more free and buy houses, basically.
On Valentine's Day of 2020, so our first Valentine's Day together, do you remember what we did?
We poured concrete countertops.
We were mixing, I was mixing out in the cold, the concrete.
Oh, yeah.
We saved a gift card. We went to
Yeah.
Lido's and I got wings
Meatball subs.
and we were mixing concrete on Valentine's Day. That was literally our date.
Yeah, how fun. But we did it, and I'm very happy that we paid off all our debt, because that would have just been like a big roadblock. And I know everybody has different ideas about student debt and paying it off or not, but I'm glad we did it. And it taught us a lot of principles. We learned how to save money together as a couple.
And how to budget. Like
True.
that was the biggest thing. Like you see how much money you actually make and how much you have to pay off different things when you actually like write it out and you stick to it. And we did. So we tracked it all the way through the month.
Yeah.
Such a good little housemaid.
We messed up the bed sitting on it.
She is the more attention to detail cleaner. This really brings back memories. We would clean this house like
Oh,
the day we actually hired a cleaner. This house had 11 different turnovers in the same month, and
That's awful.
we were like, we're not doing that.
show the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
I'm very proud of the ceiling. They're very cool. This was a drop ceiling. Okay, onward.
Take your seat right here.
Great.
So our first Airbnb guest ever, Anna and I still lived here.
Yay!
We actually lived in the room that we just came from, but the guest stayed here.
Yes. And the room that we came from did not look like that. It was like piled high with all our crap. We hadn't renovated it yet. We had finished this room and we were like, let's try Airbnb. We'll rent this room out and we'll live in the crappy one.
We'll show what it looks like on screen.
So our first guest, it was horrible. Awful. We did a lot of things wrong. We just wanted to like try it out and see how it went, because it was like really low risk. We lived here. It wasn't like we had vacancy problems or anything like that. But we were excited. So we listed on Airbnb for $20 a night.
Oh.
I remember she booked it for 2 nights and it was $70 total. So if that tells you anything. It was way too cheap. She inquired and we were like, oh my gosh, we got a booking. Like, we were so excited. And then, I mean, from the beginning, like, she said she's a local. She lives in Baltimore. Don't book to locals.
But she also said, I remember, that she needed to go to the bank or like wait till she like cashed her check or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's just a red flag.
When she came, it was going to be her and her boyfriend. That's what she said. They showed up like super late. They said they were going to be here at 4. They got here at 7 or something. And they show up with like a third friend and we're like, who are you? But it was weird. We didn't know what we were doing. Like, they come inside. We're like, what do we do? We like showed them around. They were like, oh, this place is awesome. We're like, thanks.
But the first couple questions they asked us were about kind of like partying, but kind of sneaky. They were like asking us if we like to drink liquor or like vodka, or do we smoke? Like, he was talking about weed.
Yeah.
Which we don't smoke weed, unfortunately.
She was basically like getting, what do you guys like? And then she like basically invited us to their party that they were going to host at our house, and inviting us to their party. And we're like, oh crap.
How nice of them.
It was very nice of them. They were honestly nice at first, and then it got bad. But, so they go out to the grocery store. When they leave, Josiah and I look at each other. We don't have any locks on our personal, like our room, the basement. So we run out to Home Depot, buy locks, install them really quickly. And then they get back, and it's just the girl. She brings in all these groceries, like enough for a whole party. She has like chicken breast and
It's like 20 pounds of chicken.
yeah, 2 ice creams. This is for 2 nights.
She had
soda,
like bottle after bottle of like mixers and juices and stuff like that. Like, she filled the fridge.
yeah,
It
she
was
filled
like
it.
nuts.
Yeah. For 2 people for 2 nights. So we're like, oh gosh, yeah, she's gonna have a party for sure. So then we're like on the couch watching Harry Potter. She's in the kitchen, like, I don't know.
Forgot that.
Yeah. So then we eventually go upstairs because we're just like, this is so awkward. And then she like went upstairs and just was like chilling, waiting for her boyfriend. And when we go upstairs, she goes like back downstairs into the kitchen and she starts cooking. And Our bedroom is right above the kitchen, so we can hear like literally everything because has music playing really loud, like out loud. And then she keeps calling her boyfriend because her boyfriend's not back. She's like at the house by herself. So she's calling him like 30 times. Like we hear his voicemail every single time.
And the ringer was so
annoying.
loud. She had like a song on her
Yeah.
ringtone. It was very loud.
It was so annoying. It's like 10 o'clock at this point. And she's frying chicken at this point. So we can like hear it all going down, all the pots and pans.
When I went out of our room to the bathroom, this room's door was open and I could she left it open and I could see in, and while she was downstairs cooking the chicken, she had all these tea lights, candle lit all the way around the room. This room was a little bit different. We had a dresser over here. There was like tea lights on there, on the side tables. It was like, and she was downstairs, so there was about 30 candles lit. And that was like a little scary. I was like, oh, is our house going to burn down?
Yeah, we were very stressed at this point. But I think eventually she goes upstairs and she goes to bed maybe at like 11:30. And then at like 2 a.m. the boyfriend comes back, and that's when they just start having this huge fight. Like she's running up and down the stairs. She's like sobbing. They're slamming the doors. They're like cussing. They're going in and out of the house. And then the neighbors come out and we're like, okay, this gotta stop. We gotta ask them to leave. And Josiah goes downstairs.
Yeah, we kind of hit our breaking point. It was like, I went down, I was like, it's time to go.
So luckily they did leave. Like that was a huge blessing. They could have like fought us on it and like we had to call the police, or we didn't have to do any of that. They just left. And then of course, like I had to fight with Airbnb because we were brand new hosts. So Airbnb basically didn't believe us of what happened, and they kind of like screwed us, and that was a whole thing too. But that was our first experience hosting. So if you have not had that experience, keep going, because we still did, and it's been way better. We have had like one worse stay, which it's hard to believe that we've had an even worse one. And it was here at this house too. It was a longer term stay. She was here for 6 months, and we're not going to get into that story because it was horrible. But other than that, it's been very good.
We're very highly rated.
Very.
I'm just tooting my own horn over
We
here.
sure are.
All right. Next, where are we going to take them?
I don't know.
We'll take you somewhere cool. Maybe the shower will show you Anna's tiling.
Oh no. Okay. I will show you my first bathroom. This was my first renovation. I did move plumbing. It was a whole thing. And it is fine, but I am not proud of my tiling job.
And there's just some funny details. Like, we'll start up here. Like, the shower head is not centered on this wall. Probably because there's like a stud here.
I forget, honestly.
Also, she used these big format tiles, which
so hard.
for your first real tiling job, it's very difficult.
So we're showing this because on our Instagram, we share mostly our DIY projects. We're like renovating our primary house. So I'll show you, this was my first project ever, my first time tiling. So keep that in mind and don't be too hateful. Okay, let's look at this.
I know there's a little shadow, but...
Okay, do you see that? Do you see that cut? Yeah, that happened. And then I didn't know how to like do this. Basically, like the floor isn't level because I did my own mortar pan, which is also hard. So there's huge grout lines like on the bottom. There's like huge lippage. Like look at this lippage. I hate that. So there you go. First project.
Also, not as good of drywallers. We have some feathering issues on the drywall.
We
seam
still
there.
do that.
No, we're a little bit better now.
Here's our outro. We need like a clever outro. I don't have anything right now.
Sometimes we refer to ourselves as Joanna for Josiah and Anna. So maybe we could say like Joanna out.
You can say your thing.
This house was just full of learning experiences, and this is kind of where I fell in love with renovations.
I thought you were going to say with me. Follow us on Instagram if you want to see lots of DIY projects, and we talk about real estate too. Subscribe, like, what else did I say?
And if this house is actually vacant, you can book it.
Anna, Joanna out.
Joanna, Rovanna.
enjoy some more B-roll of the house. And if you want to see before, during, and afters, head on over to our Instagram account at Renorowhome. Thanks for watching.